This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Tristan Hildebrand coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Tuesday, June 23rd. Taiwan says cooperation with Lithuania will not be affected despite Chinese pressure. President Lai Ching-te calls for unity in face of transnational repression at a GCTF seminar, and the Taiwan External Trade Development Council kicked off its Taiwan Expo in Europe in Warsaw, Poland this Monday. But first, today's top story. This Monday, China urged Lithuania to correct its mistake regarding the Taiwan region, prompting a response from Taiwan's foreign ministry regarding the status of bilateral cooperation. RTI reporter James Thompson is on the ground with the story.
Taiwan says Lithuania cooperation unaffected amid China push and Vilnius coalition change. Taiwan's foreign ministry has said that cooperation with Lithuania will not be affected by any third party, after China called on Vilnius to, quote, correct its mistake on Taiwan-related issues. The remarks came after Lithuania's foreign ministry reportedly said an economic cooperation plan between Taiwan and Lithuania had been put on hold by mutual agreement. Lithuanian public broadcaster LRT said Monday the pause was prompted by changes in Lithuania's domestic politics, with a new coalition government being formed in Vilnius. Speaking at a routine press conference in Taipei on Tuesday, June 23rd, Taiwan Foreign Ministry spokesperson Xiao Guangwei said Taiwan and Lithuania are close cooperation partners based on the shared values of democracy, human rights and the rule of law. The friendly cooperation between the two sides is not affected by any third party, Xiao said. A Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson had said Monday that normalizing China-Lithuania relations would require Lithuania to return to Beijing's One China principle, adding that China hoped Lithuania would move promptly to correct its mistake and create conditions for restoring normal bilateral relations. Xiao said Taiwan would continue to deepen cooperation with Lithuania and other like-minded countries based on mutual respect and jointly maintain a rules-based international order. This is James Thompson with Radio Taiwan International reporting in Taipei.
President Lai Ching-te attended a Global Cooperation and Training Framework GCTF seminar on building resilient democracy to counter transnational repression this Tuesday. Lai said Taiwan will focus on prevention, protection, and countermeasures to better protect Taiwanese citizens in the face of transnational repression faced by all democratic countries. In his remarks, Lai thanked partners including Canada, the United States, Japan, Australia, and the United Kingdom for co-organizing the workshop with Taiwan through the GCTF and for inviting experts and scholars from 29 countries to share experiences to safeguard the values of democracy, freedom, human rights, and the rule of law. Lai said,
Taiwan supports the EU in strengthening its response mechanisms and will continue to work with the EU and like-minded countries to build a safe and reliable information environment, creating more timely early warnings, more effective accountability, and a more comprehensive protection network to safeguard national and public security.
The president stated that threats democratic nations face have transcended traditional military and geographical boundaries. Authoritarianism conducts systematic transnational repression, cross-border surveillance, cyber attacks, and disseminates misinformation through emerging technologies and illicit financial flows, Lai said. He explained that these actions attempt to divide societies, silence dissent, and erode the sovereignty of democratic nations. No country can remain uninvolved in the face of these complex challenges, Lai underscored, and democratic partners should work together to build resilience. The Taiwan External Trade Development Council, TAITRA, kicked off its Taiwan Expo in Europe in Warsaw, Poland this Monday, following TAITRA Chairman James Huang's trip to Ukraine last week. Huang visited Lviv Mayor Andriy Sadovyi last Friday, expressing Taiwanese goodwill and concern. He said he hopes to learn from Lviv's wartime resilience and hopes Taiwan could play a key role in Ukraine's reconstruction. Sadovyi stated he was happy to share Ukraine's experience resilience and emphasized the importance of being prepared at all times to defend the nation, its people, society, and the democratic system. Huang said his trip had three main purposes: expressing Taiwan's goodwill and care for Ukraine, learning from Lviv's resilience, urban governance, and social solidarity, and understanding how to build a resilient society through government, charitable organizations, nonprofit organizations, and volunteer groups. The TAITRA chair said,
"We certainly hope that in other areas in the future, such as trade, technology, and industry cooperation, TAITRA can further seek better cooperation opportunities with Ukraine through our existing industrial platforms and various international platforms."
Sadovyi expressed his gratitude for Taiwan's support in an interview, saying he hopes to learn from Taiwan's medical expertise. He noted that 10% of Lviv's citizens, or 58,000 people, are currently on the front lines, and more are expected to serve. The mayor said he believes the city's experiences offer valuable lessons for Taiwan, having repeatedly been bombed by Russian missiles and drones. He detailed that a large-scale rescue operation was launched following a recent airstrike near Lviv's city hall, resulting in injuries but no deaths. He added that Lviv has become Europe's largest humanitarian aid hub, housing 150,000 refugees from across Ukraine and receiving wounded frontline service members every day. G7 leaders reaffirmed opposition to any unilateral change to the Taiwan Strait status quo.
Meeting in Evian, France, G7 leaders announced a new strategy aimed at reducing dependence on any single external supplier of rare earths and permanent magnets. The group set a target of lowering reliance on non-G7 suppliers to below 60% by 2030, with a longer-term goal of reducing that figure to 50%. The agreement comes amid growing concern among Western countries over China's dominance of global critical mineral supply chains. Rare earth elements are essential for products ranging from electric vehicles and renewable energy technologies to advanced military systems. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi directly raised concerns about Beijing's use of export restrictions and other forms of economic pressure. She warned that such measures pose risks to supply chain security and called for closer cooperation between G7 members and Indo-Pacific partners. Under the new framework, member countries plan to coordinate strategic stockpiles, share market information, and work with the International Energy Agency to monitor supply risks and potential disruptions. The summit also focused on regional security. In a separate Indo-Pacific statement, G7 leaders emphasized the importance of maintaining a free and open Indo-Pacific based on the rule of law. The statement opposed unilateral attempts to alter the status quo in the East China Sea, South China Sea, and Taiwan Strait through force or coercion. Analysts say the agreements highlight a growing view among major industrialized nations that economic security and supply chain resilience have become as strategically important as traditional military and national security concerns. Joey Cho for RTI News.
Taiwan's Dragon Boat Festival celebrations are bringing together big crowds, giant watermelons, and thousands of bowls of oyster porridge.
Participants in Pingdong County's Jiadong Township, known as the hometown of watermelons, crouch down, carefully trying to stand watermelons upright. Groups gather around each melon, pushing and steadying until, after a spirited effort, all 1,000 watermelons are standing, a striking sight filling the street. This is just one of the Dragon Boat Festival celebrations in full swing across Taiwan last weekend, blending tradition, food, and community spirit. However, these are no ordinary watermelons. They are dressed to impress. One is decorated as a chef, with a must-win sign on its head, while others sport hula dancer, bridal, and popular cartoon get-ups. Lin Shuling, Secretary General of the Jiadong Township Farmers Association, said, "This year, we expanded the event, using 1,000 watermelons to make it even grander." Meanwhile, in Jiayi County, the Dongshi Fishermen's Wharf Dragon Boat Race marks its 40th year, and workers begin early, cooking oyster porridge in large pots, enough for about 12,000 to 15,000 bowls of oyster porridge. Nearly 50 volunteers helped serve the local speciality, adding warmth to the lively celebrations. Eloise Phillips for RTI News.
Thank you for joining me for the news. I'm Tristan Hildebrand. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.